Good evening, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces. I was gonna say Sunday because my dad was actually home today. He ended up having some kind of family stuff that ended up coming up, so my dad ended up staying home from work today. And then in addition to that too, our contractor was actually supposed to come today, still, like, regardless of that situation, but he actually had something that I guess they had, like, an emergency kind of situation. I don't know if it was like at a project he had been working at or exactly what it was, but he wasn't able to come today, and then tomorrow he's coming later. But then we have something that we're going to, like, in the evening sort of tomorrow. So there's lots of stuff going on still, guys. Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. And the other thing too that's like crazy is that, like, for dinner tonight, like, my parents are like, oh, what are we doing for dinner? Like, all week last week we ate out because, again, too, the kitchen was completely occupied and there's like no, you know, there's stuff everywhere, and like it's just been dirty and messy kind of too, drywall dust and painting supplies, you know, all that kind of stuff. So today, since we didn't have a contractor and we kind of have cleaned up somewhat since over the weekend, and it's not as bad as it like was like when everything was kind of first starting, but my parents were like, oh, what are we gonna do for dinner? Normally I cook Monday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Normally not on Tuesday, not over the weekends. But today, again, my parents were like, oh, what are we doing for dinner? And I was like, we didn't even go to the grocery stores over the weekend. I was like, we haven't even, like, I haven't had time to really, like, plan anything either. Like, what are we gonna do for dinners and meals and, like, stuff like that? Because, like, you know, it's just, everything's been so tossed up right now. And like I said, it's just, everything's been going on. Not just between, you know, like, all of the construction stuff we're having going on right now, but also, too, just, like, the other things that I've been telling you guys that we've also had going on too. It's just, it's been so much stuff. And so again, we kind of like, I kind of was like, you know what, since literally there was an entire day too where our refrigerator was taped down because they had moved the refrigerator and then they moved it back. And so there was like a whole day of that where, like, I don't even think anybody went in the fridge, you know, so there's been like stuff where we've just, there's, you know, we've had a lot of kind of, you know, like mayhem, and especially in the kitchen. And when it comes to like grocery shopping, plus too, like, we have like a storage kind of thing in the laundry room where we keep like some of the like canned foods and like stuff like that. And again too, I can't put groceries away because a lot of that stuff is in the back in the sunroom right now. So like, even if we went grocery shopping, I might not be able to put some of the stuff away. In addition to that, I don't know where some of the food is that like I might need and stuff like that, because my dad was like, oh, why don't you just like make this for dinner tonight? And I was like, I don't know where any of that stuff is. Like, it was all in this cabinet thing that was in the laundry room, and then we moved that because they were painting in there. And so it's just, like I said, it's kind of been a lot that's been, you know, going on, and just just chaos, you know. So today though, thankfully, I was like, oh, you know what, I know where there's a can of chili, I know where there is a bag of hot dog buns. I know that in the refrigerator there is a, you know, package of hot dog buns, and I know that there's cheese in the fridge. So or there's hot dogs in the fridge and there was cheese in the fridge. So I ended up making chili cheese dogs for dinner tonight, which was completely not planned, but thankfully we had all the ingredients and it wasn't something extra I had to do. The other thing too is that we haven't really been able to like cook anything in the oven because we had the gas turned off too, because they moved the stove. And then we also, you know, again too, like, there was just the kind of like dusty drywall all over it, and I didn't want like to turn on like the you know, the stovetop or something like that and then have all that drywall dust in there and, you know, that kind of thing. So my dad wiped all that kind of down today just to like make sure that everything was clean. Like, we took all the burners off and like wiped those off and everything like that, so that it wasn't like a big problem either. But like, that's why too, like, for most of this week we hadn't even had the gas turned on in the stove and the oven. So like, even to making like frozen pizzas, like I couldn't even do that. But today again too, it was just easy. We could just, again, my dad cleaned the whole thing down, kind of just wiped it down, and then we were able to do the chili cheese dogs in the oven. And again too, I don't normally cook on Tuesday, so I don't think we're gonna like do anything for dinner tomorrow. But then like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I gotta kind of figure something out, which again could be just a simple, like, I think we have frozen like fish fillets in the freezer, so we could do like fish and chips kind of thing maybe one day. But that's when that kind of stuff that like sometimes you buy like junk food or you buy frozen stuff, these are the kind of days when it is convenient to have those things. Cans of soup that you can just heat up in the microwave or whatever. You know, you sometimes don't realize how, again, to like just day-to-day life stuff can sometimes be super impactful. But then in addition to that too, like sometimes I have all the time in the world to come up with, you know, meal plans and cooking. You know, I can have 2 hours before dinner needs to be ready to like cook dinner or whatever. And then there's other days where you can't. You're like, okay, like Jack for lunch, he had a can of like I think like beefaroni or something like that, like, you know. So it's one of those days where sometimes you just need to have those cans of things or frozen stuff or whatever. And that was kind of what today was, and pretty much this whole week, because most of the nights we had kind of been eating out because we weren't able to actually Friday I think we did make meatball sandwiches. So I had a bag of frozen meatballs and we had a crock pot. We actually cooked it upstairs in my mom's office because, again, too, they were doing everything in the kitchen. We didn't want, like, you know, again, too, if I had the crock pot sitting out, I don't want like drywall dust or paint to get on, or, you know, something like that. Or even too, because like they were cutting the floors for like the new vinyl floors, like even that can kind of like have some sawdusty kind of stuff too. I was like, okay, where do we put this? My mom's like, we can put it up on my desk upstairs and just cook it up there. So we ended up doing that. And oh, you guys see this little one, he's awake right now. So yeah, again, we did that on Friday and that worked out. And then today again too, we did the you know, the chili cheese dogs. But sometimes you just have to have those really, really convenient, super easy, quick kind of meals, or just, again too, kind of like, again too, because we didn't go to the grocery stores this week, it's like I don't have a lot of fresh ingredients either that I can use to make stuff. So I can't be like, oh, I'll make this thing with, you know, again too, like fresh fruits and vegetables, or, you know, whatever, fresh meat and like that kind of stuff. It's like I have to go to the freezer and use frozen stuff because we haven't, you know, again too, I didn't have a meal plan ready for this week. We didn't go out and buy the extra things. Thankfully, like more of the perishable stuff, like hot dog buns, hamburger buns and stuff like that, those are normally more perishable. But I did buy a package last weekend, and I think I bought one the week before that or something like that. Those actually were still good, which was great, so I didn't have to worry about it. But again too, some of that kind of stuff, like, you know, more perishable stuff, if you don't go to the grocery store every week or every other week even, sometimes you don't have that kind of stuff that lasts very long. So thankfully we did still, but you know, even that, like, we might not have certain, you know, like perishable foods as well. So again, we'll survive. We did survive last week, and again, I think they're finishing up probably sometime, hopefully midweek. But we have got, you know, like I said, just a ton of stuff that like we have going on in addition to this, like, you know, just the planning. I feel like most of the stuff too, it wasn't even the planning, it was just stuff came up in this week that wasn't really planned. Also too, guys, though, quick update on my carpet. I don't currently have it down. It is still the like, what's it called, the, you know, like mat that goes underneath it, but I did rewash it again today. Actually, when I looked at it this morning, it looked like it was actually okay. Like I told you guys, it looked like it was like stains, like gray or something like that, like really dingy and dirty. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is from. Like it was from, like, it could have been the hard water, because again too, the washing machine was turned off, and then moving it around might have agitated some of the like the hard water, or the, like, I don't know if it's like copper specks, or like, you know, just like the deposit kind of stuff from like the pipes or whatever. And then again too, moving it around, and then that was the first thing that I washed, was my plush white carpet, and so it looked kind of dingy afterwards. But then I washed it, put it back down on the floor, and I noticed it. So then I washed it again, it still looked bad. Then I just ran it through a rinse cycle. It actually looked good. And then today I was like, I'm gonna wash it one more time with the Arm & Hammer and OxyClean, and it looks like it was fine. So I'll be able to tell for sure when I put it down on the floor, but it's currently drying, so we'll know probably soon. But it looks a lot better than it did when I looked at it the first time, and then I put it down on the floor, and I was like, this still looks not very clean. And that's when I think it might have gotten stained, but I think maybe running it through the washing machine a few times might have helped. So hopefully it did, and we'll find out maybe tomorrow if it looks good. But I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.